なんという不真面目。感動。
位置をより高きに置くもの。貴様から来い。
卑怯。こい顔して。すっげえ空振り。始め。あの脱力ぶり。親父よ。
Yujiro Hanma is the ultimate male form, and you can argue with the wall if you must. I'll prove it to you with the top moments when Yujiro Hanma flexed too hard in Baki.
そんなあなたに今
装飾上の全ては知りたい。古代から蘇ったかのようなミスがあったとするならただ一つ、用意した兵器の性能だけだ。あれは黒いコスチュームに身を包んだ男が。パパはそう思う。
白さよ
り息子よ。
We all know how strong and epic Yujiro Hanma is, but things went to a whole other level of absurd when he took down that giant rogue elephant. Even the soldiers he saved had no idea of how to put this into words. A human being was able to take down a literal monster using nothing but his bare hands. How on earth would such a thing even happen? Well, in the world of Baki, his dad is the main character, and we just have to believe what the narrator tells us.
現実であってもさし勝てぬさ、誰も。事実を話したまでだ。宮本。
刃を握るのは、
Miyamoto Musashi is easily the most loved samurai fighter in the history of Japan. This man has a crazy legacy, and the people worship him almost as if he is a god. Even so, Yujiro Hanma totally owned him without any respect. Bro flicked a bottle piece right at his head, which was already bad enough. But then he went ahead and kicked the man right in the two eggs that nobody wants cracked. Is there any limit on this dude? No one would be able to save you from that kind of pain. Also, Bro knocked out Musashi for a bit and would have easily won if he was not disturbed.
嬉しいぞ。
こんな男もいる。出し惜しむ時じゃない。
この幸せ。
仕掛けられた攻撃を
いいな。
勝った急所へと滑り込ませ、時間にしてさえなお手放さなかった刀剣が。
全米最強かなんか知らんが、
まだ5分の1程度さ。
不安の裏返しにも見て取れる。受刑者だろう。さすがに取りすぎだぜ。
あの決着をどう見る？
図書館並みの蔵書。落ちた者が純正の強者を追い詰め
の価値と。
なんという汚れ。感動、努力。
Biscuit Oliva is the strongest man in America, and for good reason. Bro is treated like a king even though he's in prison. But of course, he's nowhere close to what Yujiro is capable of. We all wanted to see how these two would face off if they were to fight each other, and it went just as we would have thought. The ogre smacked Oliva away, and even made him look so small when they started their test of strength. It's not a common sight to see Biscuit Oliva looking like a soggy cracker. But when you're dealing with the ultimate weapon of the Baki universe, nothing is impossible.
複雑にする。
僕が悪い。
頭の位置をより高きに置くもの。 俺が勝者。
いや
挑んでいただきたいと思うのです。
なあ、あんたどう思う？
権威とは無意味とも思えぬが。
There's brutal, there's savage, and then there's Yujiro Hanma ripping off Ryukaio's face in front of a live audience. The Raitai event was supposed to be a test of strength for the Japanese fighters, but the ogre had other plans in mind. Ryu was the sensei of Sea King Retsu and looked tough, but Mr. Hanma clearly doesn't care for the man's image. This was dog walking on a whole other level, and nothing will ever be able to undo the humiliation Ryu felt here. The man even tried to come back from the dead for round 2, but got smacked into the ground again, like an insignificant ant.
動くな。
なんという
勝負ありってところだろう。退場するぜ。
私を。
あんたをな。戦ってんじゃん。
つまりお前は。
Hey, do any of you recall the old Baki anime? Yup, that was the first time we saw this world on screen, and it's a thing of the past, but the Yujiro Hanma of this era was so unhinged, it's not even funny. This man's only purpose in the story was to be a savage, and he did his job to the T. The fight against his own son was tough to watch, because Baki was giving it his best shot, but was doing zero damage to his dad. You could even say he was the OG pillow puncher before Naoya. But the ogre didn't stop there. He also killed his own wife, which was, shocking. But there's more. The Chad also ended up destroying a whole bunch of elite fighters right after, for no good reason. I guess he was bored. Kakukayo is thought to be 146 years old, which makes him the oldest living martial artist in the world. He's got tons of experience, and his moves are what we would call the peak of human power. He also has the secret skill, Shaori. And despite all this, he still lost to Yujiro in a fight that didn't push the ogre. Sure, he can give the excuse that he faked his own death to avoid a technical loss, but be serious now. Bro is gonna die one way or another. Our man even picked up Shari in the middle of their fight, but then chose not to use it, simply because he didn't find it cool. That's a whole other level of flexing.
いつよりも手をぶっハンマさん決着じゃない。屈服しねえ以上は。
Yanagi was one of the 5 death row convicts, and he was hyped up like crazy. Of course, none of that matters when you're up against the ogre, as he too found out. Bro thought he gained some aura points by trying to stand up to Yujiro, but even his opponent Motobi was warning him not to do that. All it took was one strike, and Yanagi almost died on the spot. I honestly thought that was the end of him, but then they showed Yanagi later on just to let us know he wasn't murdered.
何もあの時から
Good evening.
あんたが
息巻いて東京へ来た。
私を逮捕しに来たわけだ。
お呼び立てに応じていただき好奇心が勝ろうってものだ。遠慮なく
思いをし卑怯と断じ注意深く
笑ったんですわ。すっげえ空振り。
Hanayama has so much aura that you'd almost believe he was the main character of the show. The man is an absolute unit, but once again, he's nothing when put against Yujiro Hanma. The ogre was literally explaining why Hanayama wasn't able to land any blows onto him in the middle of their fight. The fact that he's coaching his own opponent and still winning with one strike says all that needs to be said about Mr. Hanma. Like, share, and subscribe if you like this list and want to see part 2 of this topic. Have any suggestions? Drop them in the comments below, and I'll see if I can make a video on them. Okay then, stay strong and be good.